It's another day of protests and counter-protests inside and outside the Jawaharlal Nehru University in Delhi. Students and faculty members protested inside the campus. Several teachers protested against the arrest of Jawaharlal Nehru University Students Union President Kanhaiya Kumar. Some protested against it. Some said classes should go on. An effort is being made to make a martyr of those who were obstructing classes in JNU. All classes at JNU they're not being held for the second day in a row after Kumar's custody was extended by another 2 days on Monday. The Bajrang Dal meanwhile is protesting outside the campus against what it has termed as anti-national activities in JNU.
We are also very agitated in destroying the institution which has built up a democratic space. I was also a student of this place and I'm also a teacher of this place. So you should know what is democratic space and you should let that space. Otherwise, I don't think any democracy or India can ever develop, It is basically an attack on the autonomy of the institutions and let the institution has its own mechanism.
What the courts decide, we have to follow. Right. That's the law. Okay. But there is the political part, right, which is the kind of dirty politics that is being played in the name of nationalism, in the name of anti-nationalism, and maligning an institution like JNU, which is a of national importance, with that kind of, slander. So that is what we are, our protest is about that. Not about what is going on in the court. The court, the law of the land is the law of the land. So if somebody has violated the law of the land, let law take its course.
We're inside the JNU campus. This place has been called as the hub of anti-national activities, hub of Naxalism. And today, as a response to all of this, these are the teachers who are marching. Some have something to say, others have nothing to say, but still, in their very walk, in their very protest, there is an expression that they hope the administration and the wider audience does not miss out on. With camera person Rakesh Kumar inside the JNU campus in New Delhi, Jugal Purohit reporting for India Today.
Jugal Purohit now joins me live from the Jawaharlal Nehru University. Jugal, take us through what's happening inside the campus, what's happening outside the campus, and are we to understand, Jugal, that the teachers are also divided over what's happening inside?
Oh, absolutely, Gaurav. In fact, this morning when I was speaking to those teachers who were marching in protest, there too we had seen divisions. But just recently, Gaurav, I interviewed one of the a group of teachers of the professors of JNU, and they had some very, very strong remarks to make. They said that for the last 3 to 4 years, this university had gone to the dogs. There was complete lawlessness. The administration was afraid of taking a stand, and they were in fact glad that this time around somebody has taken a stand and that the freebies and indiscipline that was prevailing inside the university's atmosphere is now being tackled. They also believe that there is a sustained propaganda to depict a martyrdom of sorts among some students, and many teachers, Gaurav, are extremely, I can say, largely divided over this one particular point about the treatment to the JNU SU President Kanhaiya Kumar. Many of them say that he is innocent, that the police has no locus standi whatsoever, but there's an equally large number, Gaurav, who I must put it out, are saying that they'll let the law take its course. We spoke to teachers who said that there is just no merit in pressurizing agencies which are doing their jobs. If Kanhaiya is guilty, if he's indulging into activities which are prohibited by law, then so be it. That's the major flashpoint that's emerging out here at about 4:15. That's a few minutes from now, Gaurav. We expect the Jawaharlal Nehru University Teachers Association general body meeting to take place, after which there will be a course of action which will be determined. Again, there is division on whether or not the strike should continue, whether or not the classes should resume, and whether or not the university administration should be allowed to function in a normal way. These are the questions which are being debated now, Gaurav. And outside, there is some sense of calmness here. Earlier in the day, we had seen different activists from different bodies coming here, including Bajrang Dal, the VHP and others. Right now, as we speak, there is nothing happening inside. The drama, in fact, is all inside, where, as I just explained, there is a simmering difference of opinion between two large bodies of teachers. Back to you.
Okay, what about the students? Are the students as divided, or are the students also saying that until Kanhaiya Kumar is released, they will not let classes be held? Jugal, what about students? If you can hear me, are students united? Are students united that unless Kanhaiya Kumar is released, they will not let classes be held in JNU? Or is there a section of students who says classes should be held?
Well, Gaurav, speaking about the students, again, there are divisions. We spoke to many students who believe, and mind you, they told us that even yesterday as well as today, some classes have been held. Some professors are continuing with their jobs, and they want that more and more should do the same. They should carry on. So even in the student fraternity, Gaurav, there is that division which is there, and not everyone is on the same page is all I can say, whether it's the student community or the professors and teachers community. There are differences, as I said, largely over 2 points. One is just what should be the course of action vis-a-vis Kanhaiya Kumar, and number two, whether or not the administration of the university should be cooperated with and the classes resumed or not. Back to you.
Keep tracking that story, Jugal. I will come back to you for more. Apart from protests inside and outside the Jawaharlal Nehru University in Delhi, there were protests outside the press club to Patiala House Court. Journalists, a large number of journalists marched from press club to the Supreme Court. They condemned the assault on journalists, assault on freedom of speech and expression. Journalists should have the right to report, they said. Now, in all of this, these journalists are saying that an attack on journalists, and that too inside the court, was a violation of the democratic right to report. They've come to the Supreme Court seeking justice. The Delhi Police Commissioner had called yesterday's attack on journalists a small affair, a minor affair, but journalists said that lawyers led the charge, and that is very disheartening. They have a right, we have a right to report without fear. Let's listen in to the latest that's coming.
घटना कोई छोटी बड़ी नहीं होती, जो हुआ है वो गलत है। घटना गलत थी या सही है, इसका जवाब चाहिए। छोटी बड़ी में नहीं है। जो पत्रकारों पर हुआ, महिला पत्रकारों पर हुआ, ये कौन सहेगा? ये कब तक चलेगा? और ये पहली बार नहीं है, ये बार-बार होता है। अगर हम हमारी आवाज अब नहीं उठाएंगे तो कब करेंगे?
You can see behind me, it's a group of journalists who are marching towards the Supreme Court from the Press Club of India, categorically stating that the atrocities which were committed yesterday in Patiala House Court on the action which was taken against journalists. Many lawyers beat up journalists there when they were covering the proceedings. This is a protest march which is being taken out against the Delhi police on the attack which was happened on journalists yesterday. And as you can see, senior journalists are here and they are protesting against the Delhi police. With camera person Kulwant in Delhi, Ashar Khan for India Today.
Now, Delhi Police Commissioner B.S. Bassi, on the other hand, says it was a small affair, a minor affair. It is being looked into, and based on evidence, action will be taken. Let's listen in.
The moment I came to know that there has been some scuffles at Patiala House Court, I told my officers that whatever is required to be done under the law, if it requires registration of a case, register a case, and they are being investigated, and we shall ensure that anyone who has committed any transgression of law is brought to book.
Now, India Today Group's managing editor Rahul Kanwal spoke to some of the editors and journalists who were a part of this march from Press Club to the Supreme Court. What is it that they're demanding? What is it that journalists are seeking? Let's listen in.
Journalists and editors cutting across journalistic associations, making a representation before the Supreme Court of India. Joining us now, some of the journalists who were attacked yesterday in the Patiala House Court, and also some of India's marquee editors. I want to start with my colleague Rajdeep Sardesai on the fact that the registrar came out after a long time. What specifically are you hoping and expecting to emerge from this protest that you have?
You know, Rahul, this is taking place in front of the Temple of Justice. India's Supreme Court is expected to intervene when there is any violation of democratic rights. And what happened yesterday was a clear violation of democratic rights in this country. You cannot have a situation where inside the court premises, reporters are attacked for no other reason but because there is some group which has decided to define who is patriotic and who is not. Journalists are simply doing their job. And I think when your profession is targeted in this manner, you have to come out and protest in solidarity. And who do you go to but the temple of justice, but to the Supreme Court to seek justice? Lawyers inside the court, if they are going to be involved in activities like this while the police stands by, then there are serious questions to be asked. And this is not the first time this has happened to journalists. Journalists have become soft targets. We are often targeted because obviously we have a pen or mic in hand. We don't carry a sword or any weapon of violence. We don't sloganeer anti-national slogan. But if we are going to be targeted because of some other political battle that is being fought outside, then I think we have to come and knock the doors of the Supreme Court and hope that suo motu action is taken by the Chief Justice against those responsible.
Marka, what seems rather worrisome is that while so far the cops were very prompt to take action against the JNU protesters, no action has been taken against the BJP MLA or the leaders or the workers who actually assaulted journalists and others who were present in the court.
And what's really worrying is that the police commissioner is calling all this a minor matter. He's describing this as a minor scuffle. The reason that this is not minor but extremely major, and the reason we're all sitting here in the Supreme Court lawns, is because it's about a principle. It's not about the level of violence. It's about where it happened, who it was led by. Two sets of people who actually represent Rahul, the legal process, the lawyers and the police. The police did nothing. The lawyers led the charge. And you know, the fact that the court, I would have thought the court may have suo motu made an intervention as it does on so many other matters. We are still hopeful, and we want to underline as we stand united here today that this is about the right to report without fear, intimidation and bullying. And if we can't even do that in a courtroom, most of us have seen mob violence at some point or the other, but in a courtroom led by lawyers with the police doing nothing, it's absolutely unacceptable.
Also present here are some of the journalists who were beaten up by the workers of a party, or we don't know who they are. I just interviewed O.P. Sharma and he says that they weren't BJP workers, they've got nothing to do with the government, it was all rather impromptu, and that journalists and the others present somehow provoked these people.
Rahul, I don't know if they were lawyers at all. To me, they were just goons in black coats who came out, who were targeting anybody and everybody who either looked like a JNU student or was just trying to stop them. They attacked me because I was trying to film it on my phone because cameras are not allowed inside the courtrooms. So I was trying to film and get some evidence of them attacking those innocent, unprovoked, those students on my phone. And they came to me and they said that, delete that video. Pehle varna aapka phone todenge, fir aapki haddiyan todenge. And I was trying to I screamed out loud, I identified myself. I said, I'm Sonal Mehrotra, I work with NDTV. I'm here to do my job, please let me go. Nothing. They got even more provoked. They beat up Amit Pandey from IBN7 in front of my eyes. He was beaten up black and blue. His clothes were torn. And the biggest irony is we were inside the courtroom of Metropolitan Magistrate Loveleen. I was cornered, so was Amit Pandey, by these 15 goons in black coats, and behind them were 4 to 5 cops. I was screaming my lungs out to them, trying to call their attention that please intervene. They looked the other way and they went off.
This I find very irksome, the fact that you've got cops present in the courtroom and that they don't act. What specific action are we expecting? Because you also made a representation to the Home Minister. What specific action are you expecting?
You see, firstly, there is prima facie evidence about who were the culprits. Action be taken immediately against them. One, which they've done in many cases. Secondly, we've been promised an investigation. That investigation has to be time-bound and action taken against everyone who's found guilty. But let me remind you, this is the temple of our Constitution. This is not an attack just on the press. We are protectors of the Constitution of this country, which guarantees us our democracy, the right to speech. What the Supreme Court and His Honorable Chief Justice should realize that this has happened and this attacks is on our Constitution, and they are the defenders of that Constitution. And we expect speedy justice from them.
The Delhi Police Commissioner B.S. Bassi, the Delhi Police is claiming that there is clear evidence against the JNU Students' Union President Kanhaiya Kumar. Police Commissioner B.S. Bassi saying that there is clear proof